I'm Olibile Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Farmers taught to turn their harvest into finished products. Thousands of people staged a nationwide protest against the U.S. President Donald Trump.
And Litile Tebogo claimed the prestigious Sportsperson of the Year title at the Botswana National Sport Commission Awards.
And that is Liza Oseken joining us later on our sport desk. Topotapos as interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, the Executive Director for the National Agricultural Research Institute, Dr. Charity Kruger, says training farmers to manufacture harvesting to sellable byproducts can help reduce the import bill. NADI recently hosted a mini exhibition in Hakuto to showcase different byproducts from the agriculture sector and other relevant stakeholders. Thank you, Sinso, and Ke Olebogile Riposani compiled this one.
NADI, through its resilience to salinity through development, has already trained farmers in Media, Hakuto and Mahetwe with skills to develop products from farm produce, as well as skills to use different techniques to improve their shelf life. The initiative aims to help farmers earn a living through the sale of their produce.
Ke go ira ditshekatsheko tse di hetolang matshelo a batho e le gore ke ditshekatsheko tse e leng gore
NADI aims to develop local communities with modern farming technologies and advanced research that can help with farming and in turn elevate their lives.
tse e leng gore Batswana ba ka di dirisa go atolosa temothuo ya bone gore mabele jaaka ba tla bo ba robile jana ko tshimong one a le a kgona go emelana le luba a kgona go emelana le letswai yale ba kgona gore ha ba sena go nna ba dira e ska ba dira hela go dira motogo ya ka ha re tloetse gore tota Batswana rona bogobe.
The initiative aims to help farmers produce different products such as flour from sorghum, which can be used to make cakes and healthy bread.
Re ka kgona gore re dire jaanong tse di tshwanang bo di muffin yana ka nne re ntse re dirisa boroto go dira bo di muffin go dira bo di cake. One of
the farmers who produces sorghum flour highlighted some of the challenges that is a hindrance to them expanding their business.
Need capital, working capital funds, so that we can secure a place, an operational space where we can operate from, and also ramp up our production.
Dr. Kruger said with the help of the International Fund for Agriculture, NADI has embarked on a rice research project with the aim to promote rice farming in Botswana. Btv-News.
Decentralization of services and functions is said to be the best approach which will ensure efficient service delivery to the public. Delivering an address to the Serowe District Councillors, the Minister of Local Government and Traditional Affairs, Mr. Kithalefile Motshekga, said decisions should be made by local authorities because of their close proximity to the people. Gabriel Meriki with more.
Serowe councillors state that decentralization is a step forward which will allow for them to proactively make decisions to assist the public promptly, in turn improving people's lives.
Decentralization eta nela udulasetulo wa rona dithata le dinonoho when it comes to estimates of.
Will decentralization allow the council chairman to discuss the budget fully, because currently it is only done at administration level? That is not a good arrangement.
Special budgeting, but go send you the documents that the whole budgeting is done at the administration level.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, we must have some legislation amended or reviewed. For example, when you look at our Local Government Act, mainly Section 5, Sub 1 and 2, it gives the minister to dissolve, it gives the minister to do anything he wants. You go to Section 89, the minister can dissolve the council.
Will we be given structures to follow in order for us to ensure that service delivery is done? For example, if you are short of a doctor, can we go through the council secretary to hire a doctor for our clinics?
gongwe kana ngaka bo CS ana re itse gore nya re tatswa ha re thamalela kae.
The view is that the developments are fast-tracked when decision-making is decentralized.
That is the essence of decentralization. Le school feeding, lona le feeder bana ba district ya lona. But a central government ministry, uta bore ba na le go feeder bana botlhe e be nna we close.
Councils are better placed when it comes to decentralization because they can manage their assets well and also focus on their thematic areas only. This will ensure that decisions are taken quickly, ensuring speedy service delivery.
Ke go tsaya dithata o dira gore di council ba di tse se gautshwane mme ha ba di tsaya se gautshwane ra go di ka tsewa ka boheho mme ha di tsewa ka boheho di ka dira gore ditirelo di nne thwathwa di nne botswerere go batho.
Councillors were urged to always prioritize meeting the nation's needs. Gabriel Mereki, Btv-News, Serowe.
The Minister of Youth and Gender, Ms. Lesego Chombo, says her ministry is set to pursue gender mainstreaming as a preventative measure to issues of GBV, further emphasizing on the need for a multi-sectoral approach to tackling it across the country. She was speaking during the anti-gender-based violence walk and workshop organized by UCCSA Trinity Congregational Church in Gaborone yesterday. Keletoletse Somolakai compiled this one.
Different stakeholders came in droves to work against social ills and provide another engagement platform to help address the root causes of gender-based violence in society. Gender-based violence of recent has been regarded as public enemy number one, as it has caused a lot of pain in the country, and the efforts are in line with the government to encourage equality among its citizens in the effort to root out any imbalance.
The priority is to prevent so that it doesn't happen in the first place. We recognize how once it happens, it affects our well-being, it affects our livelihood, it affects our ability to meaningfully contribute to society. And so in this route of prevention, we are mainstreaming gender equality and mainstreaming gender responsiveness and mainstreaming being active against gender-based violence. And so every time I stand before any group of people, we talk about what they are doing.
Botswana Police is a key stakeholder in fighting GBV, affirmed their position to provide a safe space for both men and women to report cases of GBV.
One man and come forward. Police station. They once happened, they happened in the past. And that does not define Botswana Police Service. Let us come forward and seek help. We are ready to help. We have helped several men.
The need for the country to introspect and redefine norms was emphasized in the fight against gender-based violence.
Within the church, within the police, within the government and different structures,
we should be cautious of how we deal with issues of gender-based violence. Some will likely feel unsafe to share their stories if they are not treated properly.
Who report
these things are happening in our name. Rona le borre ka gore re tsenywa in a blanket goti borre ba bola monna o bolaile mosadi o bolaile bana. So the biggest question that I want to pose to you today is, what are you doing about it?
The efforts to work against gender-based violence was applauded, as it has managed to open up conversations about the social ills and even coming up with ideas on how it can be defeated. Keletkelezwe Somolekai, Btv-News, Gaborone.
Meanwhile, Minister Chombo also says effective stakeholder engagement is crucial in combating GBV, as it fosters a collaborative approach that will eventually strengthen prevention and response. She said this during her visit to Malepolole prisons recently.
In her visit to check the well-being of inmates here in Molepolile, together with addressing issues of gender-based violence holistically, Minister Chombo has cited that as a ministry, they have realized that men are usually the perpetrators of GBV, but also that they are often left behind. She emphasized that the time has come to engage all genders in an effort to eliminate GBV. As I have been at work addressing the issue of GBV, I have gone to shelters and spoken to affected women and children. However, when I've tried to speak to men, they have told me they feel singled out solely as perpetrators. They share that there are no attempts to seek out the roots of these crimes, to find out how their upbringing and family structures could have contributed to them perpetrating violence in adulthood. They said that they are not even engaged during the discussions on possible mitigation strategies. Still in this visit, the minister had an open engagement with perpetrators of GBV, during which they shared their own experiences. Since my desire is to understand the roots of GBV, I found it important to visit those who have been convicted for such crimes. I spoke to men who helped me understand that how they were raised is to blame. I also spoke to others who showed remorse over their actions. The minister's tour is expected to continue to other prisons across the country. Furthermore, she encouraged the inmates to remember that there is still life outside prison.
You are still watching Btv-News. Thank you for staying with us. Now, moving on. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mr. Ditapelo Kiorapetse, says it is important that members of Parliament are agents of social development and justice. Speaking on the sidelines of the 150th Inter-Parliament Union Assembly that commenced yesterday in Uzbekistan, he says as members of Parliament are voted into position of leadership by the people, they need to uphold and promote democracy. The Inter-Parliament Union Assembly is a platform for members of Parliament to discuss global political issues, and the Southern Africa Development Community member states intend to approach the August House as a unified force. The Speaker is accompanied by 7 members of Parliament for this trip, who includes the Leader of Opposition, Mr. Dumelan Saleshando, and the Assistant Minister for State President, Ms. Maipelo Muputing.
Parliament are assemblies which are elected by the people, and they ought to be workshops of democracy, where economic decisions are taken, where Parliament sanction borrowing, appropriate funds for development, and make sure that laws and policies that promote gender equality, issues related to young people, bridging the gap between the haves and the have-nots, or dealing with the inequalities, that these are implemented.
Seasoned Botswana Guardian and Midweek Sun business editor Mr. Kobonye Ramokopelwa was laid to rest this morning at his home village of Molepolile. Different speakers described him as a humor personified individual and a dedicated and committed storyteller. Jessica Pilani with more.
The 40-year-old Ramokopelwa, a storyteller of note, passed away after succumbing to a short illness. He has been described as a loving individual who was full of life and vigor. He was indeed a very good child, very energetic. We have had very high expectations from him since childhood because of his good character.
Se ne ke se rata ka ene slide gore ke motho ona rata change a rata go bona kgolo mo mothung.
He really loved to see change in people. He was cherished by everyone, from colleagues, family members, and even here in our ward, as he was an individual.
Mo khotleng mo lesikeng la rona rotlhe ditsala tsa rona tsotlhe ko ra gona po ka tlang ko go ena a tla go ra re no ko bonyukila ntira se se busule.
His brilliance and optimism of developing and upgrading the print industry will forever be anchored in the hearts of many, especially his colleagues who labeled him as a dedicated and committed business journalist and editor.
His work spoke for itself and earned him the respect of a credible business and economic reporter that he was. As business editor, he was also very instrumental once upon a time in the production of our trade and investment magazine called Botswana Investor. Ko Sibet, a Modimo a re thatahatse gore re tsweledise ha mokaulengwe wa rona a tlogetseng teng. E ne e le la ntlha re le mo deadline re sena le Kobonyi le ka Laboraro. And having to come into his shoes brought a tear to my eyes as I sat in my office silently and processing his sections.
Mr. Ramokopelwa will also be remembered for flamboyance and zeal for life, an orator of note. The fallen scribe is survived by his mother, 2 siblings, 2 children, and a nephew. Jessica Pilani, BTV News, Mulepolole.
Now, in stories making headlines beyond our borders, we go to the USA. Thousands of people have staged nationwide protests against U.S. President Donald Trump and Tesla boss Elon Musk in various American cities, marking the largest day of demonstrations by an opposition movement. The movement is said to have been organized by over 150 groups aimed at regaining momentum after the shock of the Republicans' first weeks in office. They criticized the current administration's policies, including downsizing the federal government, the economy, immigration, and human rights. Demonstrators protested against the administration's moves to fire thousands of federal employees, close Social Security Administration field offices, and shutter entire agencies. Well, it is time for Sport News. Liza Osekeng on standby.
Thank you so much, Olibile. Good evening. I am Liza Osekeng with your World of Sport. In our leading story, Botswana's 200-meter sprint champion Litsile Tebogo claimed the prestigious Sportsperson of the Year title at the Botswana National Sport Commission Awards held at Boipuso Hall in Gaborone on Saturday. Tsegofatso Malepa and Khorata Moeng compiled this report.
Botswana's golden boy Litsile Tebogo, who was recently named World Kids Athletics Ambassador, was the ninth biggest winner, taking home the overall Sportsperson of the Year award and a 100,000 Bula cash prize. He also retained his Sportsman of the Year title, earning an additional 5,000 Bula. These accolades come on the heels of his gold medal in 200 meters at the Paris 2024 Olympics and a silver medal as part of Botswana's 4x400 men's relay team. Tebogo's remarkable year also saw him being honored as top Olympic performer and top African male athlete.
This award, it's not mine. It's for Team DOC, Team Rosa Associates. If it wasn't for them, I don't think anybody could have seen the outstanding performance that we did at the Olympics. And also, it's also for my mom. Thank you so much.
In the women's category, Naledi Marape of chess was named Sportswoman of the Year. Rising tennis star Malak Macheng shone brightly, securing Junior Female Sportsperson of the Year and Public Athlete of the Year, with prizes selling to 50,000 Bula. Meanwhile, fellow tennis prodigy Dungamale Ragwin was named the Junior Male Sportsperson of the Year. Other notable winners included Kibonyi Mudisa Musimanyana, who was named Coach of the Year, while Moses Banzi of Athletics walked away with the Sports Administrator of the Year award.
I'm thankful to my coach. He's taught me everything I know. Thank you to BNSC. Yeah, thank you.
Finally, I'm able to get my award for myself, to come and collect, because most of the time the award didn't receive. This is the first time award, and I'd like to thank God for the gift, the athletes. I'm here because of that.
Gloria Majaha and Edwin Masure of Paralympics scooped the Sportsmen and Sportswomen with Disabilities Awards respectively, while Botswana Table Tennis Association was named the National Association of the Year. Gaone Pwane of Tennis was awarded the Umpire of the Year award. In media honors, Botswana Television swept 2 awards of Best Electronic Journalist of the Year, courtesy of Karabo Bosena, as well as the Best Electronic Media House of the Year. Tsegofatso Malepa, Btv Sport.
And now switching course to football news, VTM-FC continued with their fight to avoid the relegation axe as they thrashed Security Systems by 3-0 in the FNB Premiership game played at VTM Arena this afternoon. Goals from Edwin Ntoiwa, Kesao Bakara Motswaedi and Tolani Molawa ensured that Bafana Badijabani registered their 6th victory of the season, which moved them to 10th position with 26 points. And in case you missed the action, we have the highlights for you.
It is controversial to call Baile jaron ko Malawa di Tani ana abamo khagola le ke wala ga Ramotswaedi bona ya gonno ya bobedi ka tatelano ya bobedi ya VTM nete hata jalo gore 3 points o tloka sala ka kono mogamono nyane sebaka ka nna sa bone VTM a re bone fa Moipolai o feditse le bone Ronald Moipolai tota ke le ke bara jalo ala ka Molawa khotsa ko bankeng.
We need to be stronger. We don't need to look down and be hard on ourselves. There are still a lot of games to play, and when you look at our last 5, there are games that if you believe more, you can still get something. But we'll go back and regroup and let's see what happens on Wednesday.
The win against Santos motivated us going into this game, and the way they expressed themselves, and also the effort that they had to put in, the substitutes that we had to put in as well. It was marvelous, and also, like I told you, we have never won in this match this year, so it is a blessing to us.
And finally, Tafik Sporting Club solidified their position as FNBB Premiership block leaders with a dominant 3-0 victory over Chadibe FC yesterday at Obed Itani Chulume Stadium in Francistown. Karabo Sebile has the report for us.
The Machimenyenga boys controlled possession from the first whistle, relentlessly pressing for an opening goal. However, Chadibe's goalkeeper stood firm until the 43rd minute when Butsile Kebaikani finally broke the deadlock for Tafik. Just 2 minutes later, Amogelan Rezan doubled Tafik's advantage, sending the teams into halftime with a 2-0 lead. The second half saw no let up from the league leaders, with Tao Shadikong completing the rout in the 74th minute to seal a comprehensive 3-0 victory.
We came into it knowing fully well that once we get the first goal, the opponent will put their heads down. They've been losing games, and it's a game also we didn't need to play many passes at the back. It's a game we needed to play in their half and put a lot of pressure on them. And I'm very happy we did that. Unfortunately, we couldn't convert numerous chances we created. If in all fairness, we could have scored more than 3 goals, especially in the first half. We had so many chances, but the plan worked. It was a game whereby we wanted to increase our goal difference, and we managed to do that.
It was a tough match. We played well in the first 40 minutes. We were just unfortunate to concede 2 goals in the last 2 minutes of the 45 minutes of the first half. We are going back to the drawing board, and we are going to be looking at the mental alertness, because it was like the goals we considered, they were just blunders. The guys just went to sleep, but we are going to rectify that one. We feel and hope that things are going to change. It's unfortunate we've lost a derby where we thought maybe we were going to play better. Those guys, they had their chances. We also had ours, but they buried their chances. Our guys were just shy in scoring goals.
With this win, Tafik maintained their grip on the top spot with 45 points, while Chadibe remained deep in relegation trouble with just 15 points at the 15th position. Karabo Sibili, BTV Sport, Francistown.
Well, that is it for sport this week. Me and you will do this again in a week's time right here on BTV News, DSTV channel 289. But before we part, we take a look at stories making headlines.
Farmers taught to turn their harvest into finished products. Thousands of people staged nationwide protests against U.S. President Donald Trump.
And Lizile Tebogo claims the prestigious Sportsperson of the Year title at the Botswana National Sport Commission Awards.
And that is all the news we had for you this hour. Weather is up next, followed by Eye on Sadek. I'll be coming back to say my goodnights.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Samuel Ramoton. The following are some of the rainfall amounts that were recorded this morning at 8 o'clock. 56 millimeters at Hansi Med Station, 30 at Kagai Primary School, 20 at Grotlach Primary School, 17 at Batsing Farm, 15 at BB74 Farm near Tsani, 12 at Matsakha Primary School, 8 at Leshibetsi Primary School, 7 at Kade Wildlife Camp, 5 at Samani Primary School, 3 at Mitsmantle Khutla, 2 at Mamono Border, 2 at Olfans Drift Police Station, and 1 at Mahalape Med Station. Well, the current satellite picture shows clouds are visible over most areas in southern Africa. Zooming into Botswana, clouds are still visible over most areas, and it is even cloudy over the western and the southern parts of the country. And this red spot shows developing thunderstorms, which are expected to thunder or shower tonight over most areas of the country. As for tomorrow, clouds are expected to be visible over most areas of the country, with isolated thunder showers over southeast, Gatlingkweni and Ngamiland, but over Hansi and southern, we're expecting scattered thunder showers, and fairly widespread thunder showers are expected over Galagad. And heavy falls of 50 millimeters or more expected in some areas of Hansi, Galagad and southern, with potential of flooding in some areas. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions. Well, in the morning, warm temperatures are expected over most areas of the country, with minimums ranging from 16 to about 19 degrees Celsius. And in the afternoon, mild temperatures are expected over Hansi, Galagad, southern, southeast, Gatling and Kweni, with maximums ranging from 23 to about 26 degrees Celsius. But over southern, central and northeast, we're expecting warm temperatures tomorrow with maximums ranging from 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. On over northern central, Chobe and Ngamiland, hot temperatures are expected ranging from 33 to about 35 degrees Celsius. Well, as for some cities in southern Africa, showers are expected over Manzini, Maseru, Johannesburg, Appington, and Cape Town, but over Gqeberha, we're expecting only partly cloudy conditions. Partly cloudy conditions are also expected over Antananarivo, Beira, and Lusaka, but over Harare, we're expecting only a few patches of clouds to be visible, and showers are expected over Windhoek. Partly cloudy conditions are expected over Luanda, but over Kinshasa, Blantyre, and Dar es Salaam, we're expecting some showers. That's the weather forecast. Have yourself a good night.